welcome to Broadcast Podcast, a podcast about broadcasting. I'm your host, Kennedy. We all love movies. Most of us are raised on Pixar, Disney, and more recently, gobs of Marvel movies. Many of us would love to work in Hollywood or Atlanta, or anywhere in the industry. But how do we get those jobs? Today I'm joined by classmates in the Intro to Mass Communications classes here at Chat State. Share your names.
Ryan.
Will.
Alright. So, starting out, what is your favorite movie from your childhood and why?
It's really hard to pick for me. I'm gonna be honest. I loved the Jurassic Park movies. I'm so honest with that. But with Disney, it was Fox and the Hound. I really liked Treasure Planet as a kid.
Yeah, I had a teacher that said that Fox and the Hound traumatized him. Yeah. And
I mean,
it's a very depressing movie.
Yeah, but look at Bambi though.
Bambi
ends with a forest fire.
I think maybe early Disney in general.
Yeah.
I think early Disney in general was kind of rough. I don't know.
Yeah.
So my favorite movie as a kid, Disney movie, I guess, was Beauty and the Beast.
That's
Not gonna lie, the teapot and the candle just talking was amazing as a child, just because they had such good personalities. And then it's this huge animal that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
And he lives in a castle.
So it's just a lot of Disney and I don't know, Disney and nostalgia basically. I'm kind of the same way. My favorite, it wasn't Disney or Pixar, but it was the very first movie I ever saw in movie theaters was Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. And I loved that movie. It was Cars and Kung Fu Panda that I would watch on a repeat.
That's great.
Those were my two favorite childhood movies. Or Princess Bride was also one.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of the animated nostalgia. So, moving on from your childhood, going on to now, how often do you catch, the new movies coming out?
Rarely. I rarely catch the new movies, especially in theaters. The last movie I went to see in theaters was the Barbie movie, and that was the first movie I've seen in theaters in, 3-4 years. I went to go watch it with my boyfriend, and we both cried.
You know what, that's a good choice. That's a good word.
I'm the same way. I only catch, the really big ones. So, I saw Oppenheimer.
Peak. Good, amazing movie.
Saw Oppenheimer. I had to. I saw it twice, actually.
I wanted to, but I don't, I'm broke, so.
And the last movie I saw before that was the Batman that came out with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So not very often.
I am a big, big movie theater fan. I saw 20-something movies in theater last year, and I've seen about 10 this year.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but I love movies. The last thing I saw in theaters was last week, and I saw Bottoms. Amazing. I highly suggest it. It's really funny. And before that, it was Barbenheimer. I did the double feature thing.
As you should.
Yes, that was a really fun experience. So it's literally just every time there's something that catches my eye, I try to go to the theater, and it's just because theater is such a different experience from just streaming at home.
Oh yeah.
So, going into that, do you watch movies in theaters or streaming at home?
Most of the time, I wait for it to come out and I stream it at home. I don't watch movies very often in general, though, unless I have a bunch of time and I have nothing to do. I think theaters are fun, though. I went and saw the most recent Jurassic World movie in theaters when it came out.
That's always fun.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about them that's really fun. I wish I went out more, but
it's the big screen and the surround sound,
yeah.
So you can really get that dinosaur roar in your face.
Yeah. I think it kind of just it depends on what movie I'm watching. Because if I'm watching Oppenheimer or something, I don't want to watch it on my computer.
Yeah, no.
Because it's grand, and it's a lot of noise and a lot of stuff's happening, and I'm just staring at this little screen.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, but if I'm watching something just something calm, then I can just wrap up in my bed, a bunch of blankets, just watch it, and that's way better than having to see something sad on the big screen.
Yeah, I watched one thing I really regret is you're talking about the Batman. I watched that recently at home on my TV, and I feel like it was a really good movie. I was geeking out the whole time, but I feel like so much of it was just lost in the fact that I did watch it at home over going to see it in the theaters. Because there's just something about the theater experience that's so I don't know. I'm really glad that it's coming back after COVID. Because I was really scared that it was going to die out. But I think this has been a really big box office summer, so I have high hopes for the theater
Yeah,
experience.
I think Barbie and Oppenheimer really helped with that too.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
like
Feud.
the Barbenheimer was
Barbenheimer
so
was it.
all over.
And now you have Taylor Swift's tour movie coming out on October 13th in IMAX, and it's already like had like, I don't know, it's so like crazy, but it's gonna be one of the biggest box office hits this year. So it's just like stuff like, it's been a really good year for box office movies. Movies in general, debatable, but like box office wise, yeah, it's back basically. I'm moving on from like streaming and like your own personal. If you could work in the film industry, what job would you love?
I've actually been thinking about this recently, especially after the other day, like working the film camera.
Yeah,
Yeah, something.
it's that film production crisis.
Something about that just scratched my brain the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I think doing film production would be really fun. Like working like back in the booth. I think like looking at the booth sparked. I was like,
Yeah, that.
oh yeah. Or working with cameras, just something behind the scenes
Yeah.
for sure. I think being on film crew would be really fun.
Yeah, I think I would want to be either a director, just so that like I could put out the vision that I had
Mm-hmm.
for the story, or just like a stunt double.
Yeah, that'd be
Just so that you
fun.
can get
Wait.
tossed around and get paid for it.
Wait, that is kind of cool.
I think that would be a really good time.
Yeah. I'm actually going to school for film and television production because I want to write and direct like television and movies. So like that's what I want to do. But it's like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Throughout high school, I wanted to be a history teacher. Like that was my go-to. Like I was determined to be a history teacher. And then I watched one show. I watched a television show. I watched Our Flag.
Dawson's Creek.
No, I watched Our Flag Means Death. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I had like a whole crisis about like, do I want to spend thousands of dollars going to film school? And so it just takes one thing, and I feel like that's how a lot of people get started, is they just have a little itch that they should get into something, and then they do, and it leads to a career, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
How would you get ready for a career in film?
I think I'm gonna be looking a lot more into like that focus of the media department here.
Media technology?
Yeah,
That's
like,
what I'm in right now,
yeah.
so.
I'm currently in media technology. I'm set on my 2-year, but I don't know. I might be looking at transferring schools and looking more into the.
Or you could do the film and television production training thing here.
Yeah, which honestly I might end up doing. I need to like talk to the professors here.
Yeah, it's cool. That's I'm doing I'm taking those electives in my ASS, so I kind of get both of it.
I think if you wanted to be a director, probably just like trying to make some like home films, like with your friends or like with actors that you hire or something, and just putting yourself out there is the best thing. Making sure that you're getting engagement and people are seeing your stuff. And if you wanted to be a stunt double, just training to take a fall, I guess.
Yeah. I one thing that like if you really want to get into it is I've heard that the biggest thing is making connections with people, because you never know, someone in your media technology class could have a job for you later on, and like they just call you and be like, hey, I know you do this, you want to come work. So it's literally just putting yourself out there, doing things, getting the experience, and just eventually there will be a hook that comes and you'll be able to latch onto it. So that's what I'm kind of like hoping for, getting involved, and eventually something big will happen. And that's the hope.
Oh yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with me is like I don't like the uncertainty.
Yeah.
So all the things that I'm like really like, oh, I'd love to do that, they're all super uncertain.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta build a good foundation for yourself.
Yeah.
In order for that kind of thing to happen. Like I was doing a job shadow. I did a job shadow like my last year of high school. I did a job shadow at WDEF, the news station, and actually like it's a news broadcasting station, but a lot of people there, like there's a dude who made his own short films and was doing directed work. There was an editor, just a random editor, and she's like done set work and stuff. So it's stuff like that, like getting yourself a foot into the door of the industry, and then like I don't know, it's really cool. It's easier. I feel like it's easier than most people think it is.
Yeah.
And then, any final thoughts on movies?
I think honestly, movies are like kind of a foundational media form.
Oh, absolutely. I can get into this for hours.
Yeah. like very much a foundational media form, and it's something that I don't see dying out anytime soon.
It's one of the most important forms of media that we have ever come up with. And like there's like people are talking about, oh, cinema is dying because we keep getting a bunch of Marvel movies or whatever. What I think people don't understand is that movies and film in general started out as an expression for people that didn't have a way to express themselves, and it will continue to be like that. No matter what happens with like AI or strikes or Marvel movies, like there's always going to be creators out there, and that's why movies are so like, they're so important, and I love them so much.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're so
finish. I actually think it's kind of impossible for like the film industry as a whole to die, just because of how like ever evolving people's thoughts are, and people keep finding new things interesting, and there's new people to like make stuff that interests new people all the time.
Every you can see, like, if you go into the history of movies, you're able to see like such a progression in both the culture and mindset of what was being put out. Like, I watched a video, it was like how you just have classic movies, and then you have like old westerns that are very one-dimensional, and then you have like modernist films that kind of question that, and then you have postmodernist, which is kind of the era we're in right now, which is analyzing the art and the purpose of that art. So it's just it's so cool, and it's an ever evolving. Like, movies are ever evolving. There's going to be constant ways to make a movie, and it's just very important. That's why I really encourage people to like be caught up on what's currently happening in the film industry, because you can really tell, even just between like last year and this year, the difference in the kinds of movies that are coming out is very noticeable, and that's like, I don't know, it's very cool to see, and I'm glad that more people are getting into it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I guess that's everything about movies or whatever. So thanks for listening to the Broadcast Podcast, and have an amazing day.